Hello, my name is Kristián Kovalský and now I'm going to demonstrate my calculator. So let's try different basic functions. Addition is working, subtraction as well, also multiplication is working, and division too. Then I have a modulus function which is also working just fine. Then I have function ln of x, or natural logarithm, which is just logarithm of base e, which is 2.72 something. So let's say that I want to know what's ln of 5, and it works. Then I have a function called tangent of x of some degree, because I set it to degrees. So let's say I want to know what's tangent of 45, and it's 1. And then I have a function called square root. So for example, let's take square root of 25, and it's working. Next I have a feature called memory. So let's take as an example number 90. I want to keep this number stored in my memory, so I just typed in 90 and I will press M+, and now this number 90 is stored in my memory and I can use it later. So let's say that I'm doing some calculations and I want to add this memory number now. So I just press plus and memory recall, and it recalled my memory. So it added 8 plus my memory, which was 90. I can also edit this memory. So let's say I want to have 85 there. So I can press 5 and press M-, and now it takes 5 from the 90 I had in memory. So now when I recall the memory, it is 85. I can also add something back. So I want to add 3, so I have 88. I will press 3 and M+, and now it's 88. And the very last function is MC, which just clears my memory. So now if I want to recall my memory, it just says it's 0. Alright, I think that was demonstration covered, and now let's move to the code. So I'm using Unity Engine and Unity Engine UI, which helps with building different user interfaces. And I start my script with declaring a couple of variables. Some of them are of double data type, one of them is string data type, and one of them is text component. And we will get back to those during the code. So our first function, called void start, is a function that is called only one time when the program is run for the first time. And this function, what it does is that it finds the game object called result, and it finds its component called text. And what it is display of my calculator. So you can see that it's called result, it's game object called result, and it has some text here, and that's what is displayed. So it can be everything. It can be numbers. So it finds this particular text of this game object and set it's equal to variable called result text, which we will be using later. So then I have a public void function called write to text field, and this function just displays my result variable to the text field of this game object called result. So it just displays result to the display by adding result to empty string. So we don't need to change this result variable, which is of double data type. Yes, it's here. We don't have to change it to string, we can just add it to empty string. Moving on, we have a clear result function. This function is called when C button is pressed on the calculator. You can see here that on click event it calls clear result, and this function basically resets everything to default, so it sets result to 0, multiplier to 1, and write to text field, so it just displays 0. And I will get back to multiplier very soon. Next I have a save operation function, which takes some string called O as an input. And what this does is that every single button of my calculator has some string attached to it, and this string is stored in this operation variable when a particular button is clicked. So, for example, plus button stores string just plus sign. For example, square root button stores sqrt in my string variable, and so on and so on. You can see that there is a slash, for example, for division. So it saves this string in the operation variable. Then it says that temp save is equal to result. So we take what's already what was displayed on display before we clicked some function, some addition, division, subtraction, whatever. So it saves the result to temp save, and then it resets the result to 0 again, so we can add the second value we want to work with. And then it displays operation that the user is currently executing to text field, and it says that multiplier is equal to 1 again. Moving on, I have add digit function, which takes integer, I call it b, it takes it as input, and this function starts with checking if multiplier is 1. And what this means is that I'm working with whole numbers right now, and these two lines they make the numbers. Let's say if I have 5 on the screen on my display, and I want to have 55 there, so I press 5 and then I press 2, and instead of adding these two numbers together, so 5 plus 2, which is 7, and that's wrong, I wanted to multiply the result, so I wanted to multiply, for example, 5 by 10, so then I will have 50, and then I wanted to add the digit I pressed, so let's say 2, to this number, so it will add 2 to 50, not 2 to 5, and then I will get 52, and this goes on further. And if this multiplier equals equals 1 is false, so if this is not true, it goes here, and this means that I'm working with decimal numbers. So it adds to result, so it adds to what I have currently displayed on my display of a calculator. It adds d times multiplier, so it adds the digit I pressed times multiplier, and multiplier is set to 0.1. As we can see in this function set multiplier, and this function is called whenever user presses this comma button. You can see it here that on click it goes set multiplier. So now our multiplier is not equal to 1, it's equal to 0.1. So if we divide it, let's take numbers 5 and 2 again. So I have 5 on my screen and I want to have 5.2. So I press comma or dot button. It says multiplier to 0.1 and it multiplies. Then I press 2 and it multiplies 2 times multiplier. So then I will have 5 plus 0.2, and that's 5.2, and that's what I want. And later it divides multiplier by 10, so I will move from tenths to hundreds to thousands, etc. And this whole if condition ends just right here, and then I have just call to the write to text field function, so I display my number. This set multiplier function, I just explained it. so let's move on. And then I have a function called result, and then I have a switch case here, which checks the operation variable, so this string variable. It checks what's the value of this variable, and if this operation is equal to plus sign, so if I press the plus button, it stores plus sign. It just adds result with temp save and sets operation to empty string, adds sets multiplier to 1, and writes to text field the result itself. And then I break, and the same goes for subtraction. It subtracts temp save with result and stores it as result and writes it to text field. Same goes for division. I divide. Same goes for multiplication. We multiply. Then we have modulus. Then we have tangent function, which is slightly different. I'm using system.math.tend function of some number, which is already built in Unity. And here I'm using result times pi divided by 180, and this is a conversion from radians to degrees. So I'm working with degrees. This value I will work with will be in degrees, not radians. Next I have sqrt, so this is the case where user presses the square root button, and I'm using system.math.sqrt function of some number, so of result. This function is also already built in Unity, and in the end I have ln when operation is equal to ln, so this is natural logarithm ln of x, and I'm using again a built-in function of Unity called system.math.log, which returns the natural logarithm of a specified number, in my case of result. And that was whole whole calc result function right here. It ends right here after ln case, and in the very end I have 4 functions for my memory feature. So first of all I have memory plus, which just adds result to my memory number variable and create it in the very beginning right here. So it just adds what currently on display to my memory number variable. Then I have memory recall function, which says that the result is equal to my memory number, and then writes the result to text field, so it shows what we have stored in memory. Then we have then I have memory clear function, which just clears the memory. It sets memory num variable to 0.0, and the very last function of my calculator is called memory minus, and it just subtracts memory number with result and keeps it stored in memory num variable. So I think that was it. I think I covered everything. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.